interstate. Okay, so this video is going to talk about how it can fix up the interstate highway system. So the first thing is the fact that we need to renumber certain things. Numbers need to change because while they're semi-accurate up to the coast, they get wildly inaccurate after that. For example, Interstate 45's numbering suggests that it is around 45% across the entire nation, even though it's more like closer to 65%. But two, and more importantly, it suggests it's a long highway, but in reality it isn't. Interstate 35 at points is close to 55% across the entire nation, and at points even farther. However, interstate at points it's only around. It is actually only around, I'd say, like 40 to 45% across the entire nation. So having that be Interstate 45 would be better. So then you're probably wondering, well, Andrew, what's Interstate 35? Good question. So, you know that long Interstate 49-29 corridor, even though the laws would be inaccurate, that could theoretically be Interstate 35, because that's around 51% across the entire nation, despite being Interstate 29. But, 55, it works, even though, it seems like it doesn't. It really it does work, and I'll take it. So, you're probably wondering then, what about Interstate 55? Because that obviously needs a number. Interstate 65, my friend. Interstate 65. Because Interstate 65, that actually is, Chicago 71%, but it's generally hovering around the 65% mark of the entire country. So that's the thing. It would be more proportionate. So Interstate 65 then needs a number, of course, but it's generally hovering between 65 and 80% across the entire nation. So having it be 75 would be slightly more proportionate. Gary, Indiana, it's around 72-ish% across the entire nation. So no need to make the numbers any partial, but in my opinion, it's a good number, 75. But then you're probably wondering, oh, Andrew, there's an Interstate 75. Yes, there is an Interstate 75. But Interstate 75 is more so 85-ish% across the entire nation, and I'm okay with that. Generally, it's more so 85% across the entire nation. So, and you know what? 85 is good enough for me. I'll take it. Because, at points, yeah, honestly, it is not, it's a lot less than 85, but, the fact that, at points, in Florida, it's 2%, but once you get into the branch out to the actual, like, once you get to like Interstate 10, it's around. It's only around. I don't know. I'd say like 100-ish mile. Like I'd say 120 miles or 200 kilometers to Interstate 95. So, but they probably wondering, well, Andrew, there's an Interstate 85, and that actually is a good point, because here the interstates are so closely packed together. However, I'll counter that by saying that that Interstate 85 isn't a major connector, but then it still needs a number. So now I'll be going from Interstate 75 to 95. I mean, now it's 65 to 95, but now I'll be 75 to 95. I don't have a great response for what a number would be. However, we're going to be shifting over a lot of numbers in this area. But it's probably not going to help. Well, here's the thing though. There's an Interstate 87 in the exact state that we're going through, but there's not an Interstate 89. And considering that's not really a major highway, I think it could handle a rename to Interstate 89. Oh, by the way, speaking of shifting over, Interstate 77 needs to go, because I mean, at points it is approaching 77%, as it's almost that. But I mean, if you say Charleston, South Carolina, 77% across the entire nation, you are wrong. So now you're probably wondering, where can we shift it over? It goes to South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, and Ohio, and it has to be unique amongst those 5 states. And I don't have a great response for your questions. I guess having it be in Interstate 83 is good, because that's only in Maryland and Pennsylvania. But then you're still wondering, well, I mean, is 83 accurate? No, but I don't have a great place to move it over to. I guess that's like a lot of minor errors. Moving 77 over north of, say, Charleston, is we could just move it over to Interstate 79, bump 79 over to 81, and bump 81 over to, and then bump 81 over to 83, and then maybe bump 83 to 87. But really, once you're like dealing with the East Coast area, that's when it becomes really complicated, because there are long gaps of interstates. But once you get to this point, I mean, Interstate 5, 11, 17, 19, 15, hang on. I mean, also, what I was trying to get at here is that there are some roads that should be interstates and should not be, to free up space. So we don't have an Interstate 31 or 33, but Interstate 135 is a major connector that goes from Topeka, I believe, Salina to Wichita. So it goes from southern Kansas to more central Kansas. Interstate 35 to 70. It's a very long road. It's 160 kilometers. I think that that's a good place to have it. It'll also fully expose the fact that Interstate 31 is actually west of 29 and help me move it over. But anyway, another one, and another one is Interstate 12 could be an auxiliary of Interstate 10 because it ends at 10 on both sides. And there are actually a lot more, but I don't know. So probably wondering, what are our vacation plans? Well, West Virginia is officially off the list, and New Hampshire and Maine don't have any restrictions currently. So assuming things don't change, it'll be there. Otherwise, it's probably going to just be upstate New York, even though I don't like that option. But northern New England, New Hampshire, and Maine could work out. Because generally, now, if you reopen slowly and cautiously, though, you need a strong quarantine. Like West Virginia did and Pennsylvania did. They didn't impose strong quarantine. So, obviously, Southerners got into those states freely and infected them.